Hello, Bear Valley families, and welcome to our in-person learner virtual town hall on January 13th, 2021. We want to welcome back our in-person scholars and thank you for your time to watch this video to review all the health and building logistics to ensure a safe and happy return to the building. Safety and wellness is our number one top priority. In-person learning will look and feel different. All of our safety guidelines and procedures will ensure that we are not only keeping our scholars safe, but everyone safe. We wanted to reiterate that safety is everyone's responsibility. Our second priority is a strong and consistent schedule. Thanks to the diligence of our assistant principal, Ms. Williams, our scholars have experienced a rigorous remote schedule, which provided them consistent, subject expert teachers in both quarter 1 and 2. We are thrilled to announce that in-person learners' daily schedule and teachers will not change as they return to the building to finish the school year. And finally, our third priority is a strong social and emotional and academic program. Since the start of the remote school year, we have provided daily social and emotional instruction that supports all learners and pushes them to be IB thinkers. So as we start thinking about bringing our in-person scholars back into the building, we wanted to reiterate that safety starts at home. As your child wakes up, please ensure they are feeling 100% and have no out-of-character symptoms such as a fever, severe exhaustion, abnormal cough, shortness of breath, chills, sore throat, loss of taste or smell, and muscle pain. If your child does not feel well, please stay home. They will not have a Google Meet to log into as they are used to, but they will be able to complete their coursework in Schoology. Please be sure to report this in-person absence to the front office by calling the number or emailing below so that we can ensure that we know that your child is staying home that day. So how do you do at-home health screenings? As I've reiterated, scholars must complete these health screenings at home prior to leaving school to ensure that they are ready to enter the building. It is everyone's responsibility to keep not only their own personal family safe, but all families in our community. Being honest and reflective is our best tool to ensure we are keeping our neighbors safe. There are two ways that you can do these health screeners at home. We will be providing information on both of these via email and our website, as well as social media. So the first is the same system that our teachers and staff use to enter the building. It is called Safe Access. There is a student portion that they can log into, and it walks them through questions that they can confirm they can answer no to all of them. It gives them a nice little green screen on their phone, and they know that they're ready to return to the school. There's also a one-pager that the CDC has provided that asks questions to make an at-home symptom screening tool, if you are unable to use that app. Again, we will send these to all of our in-person learners so that they are sure to use these tools prior to leaving the house each morning. So what happens if they get to school and they fail the screening here? So prior to entering the building, while lined up outside at their specific cohort doors, our staff will confirm with every scholar individually that they participated and passed during their at-home health screening. We will also be doing temperature checks at that time as well. If your child is found to be symptomatic outside, they will be escorted by a staff member to our care room to isolate them until they are able to be picked up by a family member. If you received a call from Nurse Kim or one of our COVID coordinators, it is your family's responsibility to pick up this child as soon as possible, as they will unfortunately not be allowed to return to their classroom. Please be sure the family member who will be picking up their child is listed as an emergency contact. If not, you can call the front office and let us know the name of the person that is authorized to pick up your child. We wanted to review some of the health and safety guidelines that are given by DPS and the Department of Health in collaboration with our school. So health screenings, again, must be completed prior to leaving the house every morning. Scholars will wear masks throughout the day while in building, except for when eating. We will not be using water fountains. Scholars must bring their own water bottles from home. Scholars can be in one cohort, which is the same group of students, of up to 35 students for an extended period of time. Scholars will be socially distant at 6 feet. Up to 4 adults per classroom will rotate in their in-person cohort classroom that they will be in each and every day. Teachers can support up to 2 cohort classrooms. And our cohorts will be assigned one entrance for both entering and exiting the building. Again, masks must be worn throughout the day. The exception is when they will be eating lunch in the classroom if it's a bad weather day. They must be sitting and socially distant from their nearest classmate or teacher. And all students must face in the same direction while eating in or outdoors. We will have designated lunch areas for students to eat outside. If a student stands up to move around in the designated area, their mask must go back on. Staff will be wearing their masks at all time while supervising students outside, as they will not be eating at the same time the scholars are. And just to reiterate, even during class, in the halls, in the bathroom, the masks must stay on. We all know the importance of masks and social distancing. We have a visual here of a sweet puppy showing us the correct way to wear a mask. The mask should cover both their nose and mouth at all time. And social distancing is defined as wearing your mask and remaining 6 feet away from other people, classmates, teachers, and other staff. If your child does not have a properly fitting mask, we do have masks here at Bear Valley that they can have. Okay, so we're an in-person learner. What day are they going to come back to the building? We're thrilled to be able to announce our 6th graders will be joining the building on Wednesday, the 20th of January. Then our 7th and 8th graders will return on Thursday, the 21st. Let's talk about morning arrival. Important times for us to know. For health and safety reasons, scholars will not be permitted on campus until 8:15. If you arrive to school at your designated drop-off spot prior to this time, please make sure your child is waiting in the car until 8:15, and please make sure that their mask is fully on as they exit the car. We will have grab-and-go breakfast, free grab-and-go breakfast from 8:15 to 8:25. And then at 8:25, we will be lining up and doing those temp screens. And then at 8:30, they will begin their classes in their classroom. So drop-off zones. We want to make sure that we're utilizing our great campus and all the different streets that we have to make sure we're staying as socially distant as possible. So in front of our building on South Golden Way is where our 6th graders will all be dropped off. On West Columbia Place, by our basketball courts, our 7th graders will be dropped off. And our side entrance, or our bus entrance, which is on West Bates, that is where our 8th graders will be dropped off. I will be showing you visuals of these maps shortly. Again, we are offering student breakfast, so they can grab it, pick it up at their grade level door, and find a place outside to take off their mask and eat. We're asking that all of our scholars are responsible with their trash and be properly thrown away. When they're ready to enter, they will all walk to their cohort doors and find a lineup with their Yeti footprints and line up and get ready for symptom checks. So here's a visual for our 6th grade drop-off. As you can see, there is South Golden Way. We are asking that you drop the kiddos off on the west side of the street so that they are not crossing over traffic, as there are no crosswalks in front of that portion of the school. All 6th graders will line up in front of the main entrance. Here's our 7th grade drop-off. If you were a scholar last year, it is where everyone got dropped off. But if you're a 7th grader this year, that is where, oh, you weren't a kid last year if you were a 7th grader. So that makes perfect sense. So West Columbia Place is where our 7th graders will be dropped off. There is a little hole right where that arrow is pointed, where the gate is open, and they will enter through there. And 8th grade drop-off is going to be on that other side of the campus on West Bates Avenue. All 8th graders will be dropped off there on West Bates Avenue. It is important to note that it is a bus drop-off zone, so make sure you're staying out of the bus drop-off area marked by those words are hard signs. So what happens if your child arrives late? So students arriving late to school will be welcomed in the main entrance doors off South Golden Way. A member of admin team or RCT will greet the student as they hit the buzzer and administer a temperature and symptom check. The student will be then checked in by the main office and update their attendance, and then we will walk them to class. Here is our bell schedule. It looks very familiar because it is identical to what we are doing right now with remote. So again, they will come in after their safe entry and participate in that morning wake up with their block 1 teacher from 8:30 to 8:40. We will do a little transition inside the classroom. Because kids will just stay in one classroom throughout the day, transition periods actually belong to teachers now, and they will be the only ones coming back and forth through the hallways with their carts while the students are staying in their classroom and preparing for their next class. 8:45 to 9:35, they will be in their block 1. Then they will go to block 2. And then second step, their learning, their social and emotional learning and lunch will rotate based on their cohort because we are splitting lunch up to make sure that we don't dismiss all kids outside at once. We're splitting it in half. Then after lunch and second step, they will go to their block 3, and then they will go to their final class at block 4. I have a slide down the road that speaks of tutoring, but we will be dismissing kids at 1:15 for the foreseeable future. So please make sure that you have your ride arranged. Chromebooks. Okay, so we're coming out of home remote learning, but scholars will still be using their Chromebooks every day. They'll be required to bring in their charged DPS loaner Chromebook to school every day. Please make sure that they are starting to due diligence to plug in that Chromebook every night so we can ensure that it has a strong charge, as we are limited to the amount of outlets we have in each classroom, and we want to make sure that each Chromebook is ready to go and they're not having to find a way to charge their Chromebook throughout the day. Please call the front office if you do not have a DPS loaner Chromebook. You can bring in your own personal device that you've been utilizing during remote learning, except for if it's a big giant tower. So if you were using a desktop that cannot be transported from your home, please call the front office so we can do some work to get you a loaner. Please make sure that scholars have that backpack ready to go each morning with their water bottle, with the cap tight. Please pack the charger and the Chromebook just in case. So in addition to the Chromebook and the charger, what else does the scholar need to have every day before they leave for school? Well, first of all, they need to have done their symptom check and passed. They need to have their face mask that fits them well. Outerwear. So we want to make sure that we're giving our scholars as much outside time as possible. And given that we have such a large campus, we feel very lucky that we are able to socially distance with all 3 grade levels. Please make sure your child is dressed for the weather each day so that we can ensure that we are continuing to give them those outside breaks. A water bottle. We are going to let them use the water bottle filling stations, but they cannot use the water fountains as they traditionally have. So make sure they have that water bottle with the top on tight so that it does not leak on their Chromebook. Headphones. So most of their classes, which we're very fortunate for, will be live with their teachers. Up to 4 teachers will rotate inside their classroom each day. So most of the time they will not use their headphones. However, there will be situations where they do need headphones. So please make sure they pack those. Please pack the ones that plug in and not earbuds, as those charges might not hold for the whole day. Scholars are allowed to bring their own food in as long as it's in their backpack as they enter the building. Anything like McDonald's or Starbucks will need to be enjoyed in the car before you guys drop them off. But if they want to bring food to enjoy at lunch, that is fine. We are not allowing any deliveries of hot food as we want to limit contact once the kiddos are in the building. And their cell phones. We will not be using lockers this year, so they need to make sure that they power down their cell phone and leave it in their backpack throughout the duration of the day. If you need to get hold of your scholar, please just call the main office and we will relay a message. So let's talk a little bit more about cell phones and headphones. Your child can bring their cell phones to school, but that must be powered off as they enter the building. Cell phones must remain in the scholar's backpack for the full school day. This includes recess and lunchtime. If a scholar is found using their phone during the school day, they will be asked to relinquish it for an RCT member to hold on to it safely. In addition, we are offering a check-in system with our front office if scholars would prefer to keep their cell phones locked up there instead of leaving it in their backpack. And yes, your child should be bringing in the headphones. We will make sure that we do have headphones or plug-in earbuds for students who do not want to bring a pair in from home or cannot. But Bear Valley is not responsible for any lost, broken, or broken headphones or earbuds. Okay, this is a big one. Lots of conversations have been had. Lots of questions have been had about what dress code will look like. And so we wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you guys about this. All of your scholars will be watching a video this Friday. It's a very fun and informative video that explains our new dress code. But we wanted to provide this for you guys so you can also hear it as well. So traditionally, Bear Valley has had a dress code that has limited scholars to 4 different colors on top and 4 different colors on the bottom. Miss Leone, Miss D, and your very own scholar-led Yeti Den have been working very hard to advocate to make changes to our old dress code that will allow our scholars to be more comfortable and to showcase their own unique style. So on tops, all colors and patterns are welcome, but straps must be at least 3 fingers in width, so no spaghetti straps. Underwear and belly buttons must be covered, so no midriffs are allowed. On the bottoms, all colors and patterns are welcome. Any rips below the fingertips when you have your hands against your thighs must be covered. So if there are rips or shreds in the jeans, please have your scholars wear shorts so that the skin is covered. Skin below the knees is appropriate. All right, jackets and outerwear. So this is a big one. Hoodies of all colors and patterns are now welcome. The hoods on the hoodies must remain down at all times while in the building, though, and jackets may be worn as well. And finally, with logos of all sizes and colors are welcome. Logos need to allow all members of our community, though, to feel safe and respected. So logos displaying the following criteria will not be welcomed, and we will be asking the scholars to change. So offensive language, images of nudity or suggested nudity, images that offend or demean protected classes, images referencing or representing violence or offensive to age, and inappropriate topics. So let's just make sure that when the scholars leave for the day, that they're wearing something comfortable and they're ready to learn. Okay, let's talk about the classroom learning space. Like I said, the scholars will remain in the same classroom all day, less their outdoor lunch breaks. A total of 4 teachers will rotate in the classroom to provide that live instruction. We will maintain 6 feet of distance at all times. We will have hand sanitizer and cleaning products for desks, as well as all the shared product that the teachers will be touching. We want the kiddos to keep that personal water bottle with a proper lid at their desk. We want and need to keep our personal supplies personal. So that means no sharing of pens, pencils, papers, no note passing, because we want to make sure that we're keeping ourselves safe. At this time, we are only asking the scholars to bring a Chromebook, headphones, and their charger. As we continue to work and feel out what this looks like in our building, we possibly will be starting to add pencils and paper to the mix, but we will keep you posted on that. So we are thrilled that breakfast and lunch will continue to be free for all DPS students until the end of the school year. All meals will be served in individual grab-and-go bags or clamshell containers. Even though lunch and breakfast are still free, we're still requesting all families to fill out the required lunch application as soon as possible if you haven't already. These lunch applications support direct state funding for our scholars. And I've left the phone number there for food service if you have any questions. When we send you the Safe Access Health Screeners, as well as the at-home CDC checklist, we will provide this link for the lunch application process. Bathroom procedures. So we are not allowing any more than 2 students in a bathroom at a time, and it will be from their shared cohorts to make sure that we are not crossing over cohorts. There will be only 1 student from each cohort dismissed at a time. Bathroom and the system tracker will be implemented within cohorts to make sure that we are letting scholars have voice and choice in that process. Each grade level will have their own designated bathroom, and there will be staff in the hallways at all times to help with that supervision. Again, water fountains will be off limits, so make sure that your child packs a full water bottle each day. We will allow them to fill them in the water station during our lunch breaks. So again, to reiterate food and drinks, we're keeping personal stacks personal, have that water bottle every day. Water fountains will not be used. We will practice great hygiene while eating and allowing kids to wash their hands or use hand sanitizer. And we'll make sure that those masks are getting put on after eating. Here is our lunch and recess plan. Again, we are hoping to be outside just as much as we can. So lunch stations will be set up in a central location for each grade level. They will pick up a lunch as they see fit, or if they have brought some lunch from home, that is in their backpack, and then they will go outside to their designated areas. The students must stay in these designated areas, and while in those designated lunch areas, they can take off their mask if they're sitting and eating, but if they decide to walk around in those areas, they do need to put that mask back on. So if there is a day in which it's very wet, it's maybe a blizzard, the wind's blowing pretty hard, we will not go outside, and we will have those lunch stations still set up in the hallway for the scholars to grab their lunch and return to their classroom. They will be able to take their masks off during while they're eating. But again, really hoping we can just be outside at all times. This map shows the areas in which each grade level will be designated. 6th grade will be using this purple box. 7th grade will be using the red boxes, and 8th grades will be using those blue boxes. And our MI Center will be outside of their main doors right there in that yellow box. What's important to note here is that each area has a soft grass area as well as a hard area for kids to sit and enjoy their lunch. No recess equipment will be used, like balls or Frisbees like we've had in the past. We're hoping to bring those back in the 21-22 school year. All right, let's talk about dismissal. Like I said before, right now all scholars will be dismissed at 1:15 to go home. Students will be dismissed one cohort at a time for each grade level, and we will have admin and restorative culture team outside to assist those dismissal times. Teachers will dismiss their classrooms out the same doors that they came in for morning. Scholars will need to be off campus immediately to ensure health and safety. And then as they get home, they can continue their asynchronous or their self-paced learning. After school tutoring. So because our number one goal right now is to ensure that we are upholding safety during the return to in-person learning, we are going to be taking a brief pause from after school tutoring for both in-person and virtual scholars until at least February 1st. This time will allow our students and staff to get used to what it looks like for in-person learning on our normal traditional bell schedule. And we will start collaborating and rebuilding this after-school support to ensure we are upholding safety for all participants and getting tutoring back for scholars as soon as possible. What if you have to pick up your child before 1:15? We're hoping that you can schedule appointments after 1:15, but if you do need to pick up your kiddos, please make sure that you're calling the front office ahead of time so that we can get the kiddos ready. Office staff will alert our admin or RCT, sorry about that, on radio, so that we can get that child ready to go. And then we will bring them to the front office to wait until you radio. You use the video doorbell to be able to alert us that you were here. We will then bring the student out to you and have you sign off on an iPad that you are picking that child up. Please make sure that we have proper identification so that we are ensuring that we are handing your kiddo off to the right person. Transportation. So as we know, transportation is limited to students who are legally entitled to transportation because of social distancing rules. I highly recommend calling transportation just to ensure that you are not eligible for the yellow bus. If you need help with RTD bus passes, please contact us as we are working with RTD to ensure our kiddos that ride the public bus do have some supports. Here is some calendar dates that we want you guys to mark your calendars with for our first week back in building. So on Monday, we will have no school as it's the Martin Luther King holiday. On Tuesday, the 19th, all scholars will return to learning, but it will be asynchronous or self-paced, which means that there will be no Google Meets and they will be working on their coursework in Schoology. There will also be a lot of lessons that we are going to be assigning kids to really make sure that they have been reviewing our orientation as well as this video to be able to make sure that they're ready to return to the building that week. I guess I should have also put on this calendar that on Friday, this Friday the 15th, scholars are going to all be going through orientation during their language arts classes to make sure that they are watching some videos and making sure that they are Yeti ready. So Tuesday, asynchronous learning for all 3 grade levels. Wednesday, our 6th graders will join the building. Our 7th and 8th graders will return remote, but they will be joining those Google Meets with their teachers as they have been previously. But then on Thursday, our 6th graders will return to the building, and it will be the first day for our 7th and 8th graders. It'll be exciting to be, oh, I've got a typo there. I'm sorry about that. It is Friday the 23rd, or Friday the 22nd, not October, where we'll have all in-person learners in building. Like I said, the scholars for both in-person and virtual will be participating in a return to building orientation or a virtual reset for our kiddos that are staying home. It's a great video that our RCT put together that really visualizes everything and all of the things that we're asking our scholars to do to make a successful return. We will send on Friday afternoon, along with the Safe Access app, the at-home screeners that CDC has provided, the lunch application. We will also give you this video so you guys can all review it together over the nice long weekend. Okay, now we are going to open it up for a question and answer session. This is going to allow every voices to be heard. So we want you to enter your questions in the chat box. Our co-facilitator will monitor that chat box and state the question, and then our facilitators will answer these live. If some of the questions can be answered quickly, that we will do that in the chat box to continue to keep all voices heard so we can answer as many questions as possible. This video, along with the question and answer session, will be sent out to families so that you can review at a later time. All right, let's kick it off with some Q&A. I'm also going to leave this up on the screen as you guys are typing those questions in the chat box to reiterate that we are always here to answer any additional questions that come up. You can call our main hotline, which is 720-423-9600. We have taken all prompts out, so you just get a live front office lady right off the bat. You can always go to our Google Help Desk, which is BVIS Help under a Google Meet. You do need to be logged in as your scholar in order to do that, but feel free to jump in there as a parent, as a guardian, as a sister, as a brother to ask any questions. And then here's my email for you to email me directly if you have any questions. All right, I'm going to stop this video and we're going to start answering those questions. Thanks for your time and patience as I work through this video.